Oilers Nation Everyday with your hosts, Tyler and Liam.
Oilers wearing their alternate jerseys tonight. Let's hope they give us an alternate effort. Let's get into it with the lead.
I think you could have gone with like alternate outcome, because are we really pissed with the recent effort?
Don't knock a good joke.
I know, but maybe alternate outcome.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Anyways, welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday. We are live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca. Want a little bit of help with your Xmas shopping for the sports fan in your life? We're giving away a $25 gift card today on the show. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Mystery player time. What else do we got going on today? Oh, the show's a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. If you head over to the Bet365 app, you will see a daily face-off parlay. Pretty neat. Go check it out. And it involves Edmonton. How about that? Go check it out on the site.
I like the title of it.
Yeah. I named it myself.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well
I'm
done.
in charge of naming it and picking it.
Wow. A lot of pressure. You did a great job. I did smoke it. I hit it.
You hit it.
And
the Leafs one, the Leafs part of it scares the shit out of me.
They got to win. They got to win hockey games at some point.
Yeah.
So why not? No.
The all black you're rocking is very much causing you to like sink into our background.
Oh, I'm just a talking head.
I know, but we forget. It's because I forgot to turn on the lights behind you, but we can sort that out in a little bit. Don't worry about it. Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. It is a game day edition of the show. Liam's not here today.
Where is he?
I actually don't know. He just needed the day off, he said.
Really? Just randomly, like this morning, or?
No. He said at the beginning of the week, he's like, I need Thursday off.
With what? With no reasoning. He could literally be doing anything.
I think he gave us reasoning, but we just don't listen or
Okay.
comprehend.
That makes sense.
I think that's on us.
I think it's something about, because we have our Nation Citizens Holiday Christmas Party coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's up on nationgear.ca yet. Anyways, something about how for him to make that work, he had to do something with his family today, or with Andrea's family, but it's a Thursday.
He's celebrating Christmas today with Andrea's family?
He legit... I don't think I listen all that well when Liam talks. Because now that I say that out loud,
does the audience?
I don't know where
I
Liam
hope
is.
So.
Chat, did Liam tell us why he wasn't going to be here?
No, he didn't.
I had to go to Crawford's Christmas concert today.
Ooh.
Today, middle of the workday?
Well, this is prime child Christmas concert season.
It is. But
it's
don't
a little earlier than I thought. So it's what, December 4th? But, you know, hearing these 3.5-year-olds sing Jingle Bells will get you in the spirit of things.
Yeah, that's good. I thought they would do that like at 6 o'clock at night or something.
Well, thankfully not.
Yeah,
I just worked from home, popped over. It was literally a 20-minute production.
It's not bad.
It's very efficient.
All right, so Liam's not here. Jay's filling in for him, although Jay's here every game day. Anyways, we do have a couple of great guests joining us today. The first one is Jason Demers. Now, Aaron, you're going to have to keep your eyes peeled on the guest line, because I think JD might just be a bit of a wild card today. First off, it's his first appearance on the show this year, so we're very excited for that. But I texted him and I was like, hey, man, think you could do the show on either Thursday or Friday? And he just responded with 2 like rock on emojis. And I was like, so that's a yes. And he responded with 2 thumbs up. And then I said, do you want to go Thursday or Friday? And then he gave me the flexing emoji. And I was like, so I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Cryptic.
Yeah, I said, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And he said, let's ride. So he might just show up at any moment. We also have our new friend, our new coworker, Cabbie Richards, joining us at 1 o'clock. You know him from Cabbie on the Street.
Oh, from Cabbie Everywhere.
Cabbie Everywhere. We're going to talk to him about a whole bunch of different things, but he's got a new show here at the Nation Network that you've heard us talking about. Off the Roster is a daily live show with Cabbie, Lindsay Dunn, Dan Griccio. I said that right? Yes, I did. Off the Roster, live every day on the Nation Network YouTube. Every weekday, I should say. New Nation Network YouTube, by the way. You should all go hit the subscribe button to that bad boy. Back to the Oilers, though. It is a game day. You kind of said alternate effort not needed, just alternate outcome, hey?
Well, yeah, that's such a Minnesota Wild game, right? That's so annoying. That's what we had to deal with and face, especially after, a big belt-to-ass moment over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Minnesota, it's like a weird vortex. I just never hope we have to play them in the playoffs. It's a weird
also
vortex.
So confident against that Minnesota team if we did have to play them in the playoffs.
I mean, but they can goalie us. We got goalied.
Yeah.
Our goalie showed up. Their goalie showed up. We shelled them. Lost 1-0.
Our goalie's shown up in back-to-back games now. Stu's maybe starting
Promising.
to get into his usual December, January kind of
He's settling in. He's comfortable.
Yeah. So again, that's great. Although with that being said, and this is a good spot to begin our game day preview. What happened back there? Eli opened up a can of his
That
That
energy
was the
drink.
sounded like a
loudest
gunshot.
can opening I've ever heard.
It's
Monster,
wildly
you don't know
distracting.
what's in there.
The Oilers aren't starting Stuart Skinner tonight. They're going with Calvin Pickard.
Yeah.
I debated this yesterday when I was on the Jason Gregor show, weekdays 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. And he asked me what I would do. And I kind of said, I don't think you want to go away from the hot hand right now. Like, you've put together a good effort in a few games. The last thing you want is to lose a game based on goaltending. So just go out there and get the win. I do understand that Winnipeg, who's coming into town on Saturday, has a better offense. They're also missing Connor Hellebuck. So if you need to turn that game on Saturday into a little bit of a shootout, I don't have a major problem with that. But if you're going to beat the Kraken, as much as I'm still confident with Calvin Pickard in that the Edmonton Oilers will beat the Kraken. And in his last start, he played really well against Tampa Bay. Only reason they got a point in that hockey game. I just would have kept riding the hot hand in Stuart Skinner, and I would have rolled the dice with Pickard on Saturday.
Well, you just said that the last time Cal played was in Tampa, and that's a long time ago.
Which I think probably played into this a bit. They don't.
So
want
you got to get him some games, knowing that you got some important ones ahead with for Skinner to play in. So, just bet the over and be okay with it.
I've already locked in. I locked in a puck line bet before I saw who was starting in net.
Risky.
Makes me a little bit nervous. Yes.
Now it's probably a high scoring 1-goal game.
Yeah. Anyways, Pickard gets the call. I guess so. You go Pickard tonight. You go Stu on Saturday. You then get 2 days off. So I would assume you go back to Skinner on Tuesday against Buffalo.
This is just to squeeze one in for Pickard.
But it would have made more sense to throw him in that middle one against Winnipeg. I mean, maybe you're okay giving him another 10 days off before the back-to-back, and you're just going to give Skinner 3 straight starts, assuming all goes well. Of course, performance is going to dictate a lot of this. And hey, if Pickard comes out and plays like he did against Tampa Bay, maybe they do give him that Detroit starter. Maybe they do give him the Buffalo start, and they just alternate him on the homestand here. But Pickard gets the start tonight. Maybe a little bit of a surprise. Aaron, maybe we can throw a poll on the YouTube and be like, hey, right or wrong call. Who would you have started tonight, Stuart Skinner or Calvin Pickard? Gord is in. I think I know where he'll vote. He says, horrible move. I have zero faith in picks. I don't know if you can say zero based on how we played against Tampa. You can be worried about this. And Devil Kid said, I think you're more worried about the Jets offense than the Kraken. Absolutely. But there's a flip side to that argument of being like, if you're not as worried about the Kraken's offense, then just play your number one and get the win tonight. Like, at some point, just guaranteeing a win on your schedule, as much as that's not necessarily a thing, but like giving yourself a best chance to win the most winnable game. There's something to that.
Like, there definitely is, and we need to start accumulating some W's, but we also have to manage our schedule. We've got a goalie that we know we're going to have to use at some point that's getting cold. We've got an opponent coming into town that we can't take lightly, but we know we can whip out the belt and deliver it to their ass. So I think it's a calculated move. Also, even though earlier in the season we weren't seeing it, the team plays different in front of Pickard. They just do. They love the guy so much that they just want to keep him around, that they will block more shots. They will do. It's a silly narrative, but there's got to be some kind of truth to it. So get him in the game. Let's get Cal a W, have him feel good, and then ride Stu for the next little bit.
Yeah.
So you got to use them. Like, we can't play Skinner 73 games. We got to get Cal his 20, 25, 20, whatever, 8 games. So this is a perfect, when you're looking at the calendar, this is a great opportunity to put him in.
I'm all thrown off because I forgot my laptop at home today.
Oh.
So I'm using Aaron's laptop.
Oh, geez.
But now nothing is where I...
Weird screensaver.
No, it's
comfortable. Okay.
It's our company issued
Shut
laptop.
Up Better Collective for the laptop.
Shut Up Better Collective for the MacBook.
Yeah, okay.
But like my bookmarks, the way everything I click into usually, like I can pull up information quick usually, and now I'm like, You were giving that whole answer, and I was trying to get into Bet365 that whole time, and I couldn't figure it out. Like, I don't know. It's like I'm speaking a new language. But game day note number 1, Edmonton going with Calvin Pickard between the pipes. There's also a lineup change for the Edmonton Oilers in this hockey game tonight. Chris Knobloch jumbling up the forward groups a little bit in this one, and he's going back to old reliable at the top. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman on the wings with Connor McDavid down the middle. So the first time...
Good old days.
First time this season that this trio is going to start and play a game together. I was looking, they've only been on the ice like 30 seconds together so far this season, and I think that would have been, at 5-on-5 that is, I should add, and I think that would have been right at the end of that last game against Mini when they were really pushing for offense, and they had the goalie out. So that trio will play together for the first time this year, and we call it all reliable because that's exactly what it's been over the last 3 seasons at 5-on-5. With all 3 of these players on the ice, the Edmonton Oilers are outscoring the other team 65-42, 17-7 at 5-on-5 in the playoffs as well. So regular season and playoffs over the last 2 years, the goals are 82-49. It's a dominant top line. It's just maybe a bit of an argument if you want to flash up the rest of that lineup. Does putting Nugent-Hopkins up on that wing, does it make you wince a little when you look at the bottom 6 and no Nuge there? And it's like, oh God, who's going to be the one who's driving anything down there?
It's an opportunity for Henrique to step up, I guess.
I haven't had a big problem with his game this year.
No, he's been fine, but he hasn't been. Oh well, I guess he's been mildly offensive, but like
he's kind of I mean, Mangiapane, I think, is a guy who I'd put a little bit of pressure on, and just actually, this was going to be a big question I asked you, but I got some more numbers here. The last time the Edmonton Oilers scored a goal without one of Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl on the ice was the Connor Clattenburg goal against the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, fair, yeah.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah, you knew that.
Yeah.
You were just, and before that, it was...
I feel like these are rhetorical.
They are.
Before that was the home opener against Calgary.
It was the 3-1 goal against Florida.
Oh,
that
okay.
Ekholm
That's what it
scored.
feels like.
Yeah. So out of their last 13 goals, 1 of them have come without Connor and Leon on the ice. 12 of their last 13 goals have involved Connor or Leon being on the ice.
So new year, same problems, depth scoring, bottom 6. It's back. It's doesn't matter what we do. We bring in new meat. We get excited about that meat.
Yep.
The meat is not delicious.
It's only happened. It's like 2 out of their last 17 goals are with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
That's
off
a
the
problem.
Ice. It's a major problem.
That's a problem.
And I think, understandably so, a lot of the conversation so far this year has gone towards the goaltending. I get it, right? Last line of defense, it's very noticeable when the goalies are playing bad. There's been a lot of conversation about, is their blue line good enough? I think that conversation hasn't often enough included how poor defensively their forwards are playing. Like, defense is a 5-man effort, and I feel like sometimes we forget that a little bit. You can go back through a lot of goals. The game-tying goal against Tampa Bay, Connor McDavid didn't pick up his man. You can go back to that game against Dallas when it was 8-1 at one point. You could look at a lot of really sloppy plays from a lot of their forwards. We highlighted the one from Draisaitl. And listen, it's easier to point to the big guns when they make defensive mistakes because they're on the ice a lot and they're in big moments. But the point is, the rest of this lineup has not been good enough tonight. So if you could sprinkle heater dust on one player that's in the bottom 6, who would it be?
I mean,
there's 3 decent answers.
Like, we need Mangiapane to start scoring.
Yes. We need him to start
We
shooting
need
as well.
Henrique to be able to drive his line and maybe facilitate that outcome. And then he's quietly becoming the whipping boy, and I hate to say this, we need Trent. He's becoming a little bit more noticeable. He's getting himself into good scoring positions, but the person who's actually taking that attention away and is doing a better job at the Trent Frederick game is Clattenburg. Clattenburg, every game, gets himself into a good area for a chance. And that's what I noticed with Frederick early on. Like last year early on, even though he was on one leg, I was seeing, I'm like, okay, well, he's getting his chances. And it's just a matter of time. Saw a little bit of that early in the season, but then it just kind of fizzled away. Like, we have capable guys in the bottom 6 that can produce. We do. And we need to rely, like that third line, we need to step up for sure. And then that fourth line, goals right now, I guess, from them is just bonus. We just want them to make it hard for the other team to play and start kind of wearing the opponents down, being that energy and grind line. But yeah, no, we need to get more from Henrique and Mangiapane. So if you're going to nail with one, I think the center positions the thing you got to pay attention to, because it's pivotal to the line's success. So we just need to see more offensive game from Henrique. We know he's a smart guy. We know he's got the pedigree to be that guy.
Yeah. He's never really brought a ton of it since coming over to the Oilers.
It's amazing. Like, he was like the first line center in Anaheim.
Yeah.
And producing.
He has good games. He doesn't have good stretches, is what I'd say with Henrique. Like, we can go back to the playoffs. Like, he scored cup final goals. Who did he have the 2-goal game against this year in the postseason? Was that Dallas, I think? It was early in that Dallas series where he scored a couple of big ones. Like, he has moments and he has games where you're like, whoa, like, Henrique's dialed. $3 million he plays in your bottom six. Like, I don't hate it.
No.
And to me, he does enough, and I think he's good enough defensively. I actually think
he's reliable. He's super safe. Like, he's got that side of his game, but you know there's that offensive side to him.
Yeah. For me, it's the Frederick and Mangiapane thing, just because you rely on them to do a little bit more. Like, Henrique's never going to go out there and hit someone or wow you away with a forecheck. He's just going to play solid hockey, and every once in a while he's going to have a 2-goal game, and you're going to be like, great, Rico did something tonight, or produced something tonight. Mm-hmm. The other two guys, you just haven't seen the effort stuff enough from them. And with Mangiapane, and he's maybe the guy I'm going to circle, how many times are plays dying on this guy's stick? I mean, how many times is there an opportunity for a rush the other way, and it's fed to Mangiapane, and he fumbled it, and it goes away? Like,
but it goes back to, like, what is he, right? Is he a shooter? And if he is, you got to treat him as such, because he can't drive the play with the puck on his stick. You got to, and this is why then I put the pressure on Henrique. Mm-hmm. He's got to create the situation to use him as a weapon, because that's what he might be. He's not that driver. He's not the one that's going to carry the mail up the ice.
I have thoroughly felt that Andrew Mangiapane is, like, for some of those moments, dude, he's thrown absolute grenades, like, into the bench, off sides once again. But it tends to happen when he's playing with guys in the top six, Connor and Leon. He's so deferring all the time. Keep Mangiapane in the bottom six, because we've seen him. He can score 15 goals in that role before. Keep him there. Quit moving him up and then moving him back down. I mean, it comes back to the blender thing, but I like Mangiapane way more when he's playing in the bottom six and not, like you mentioned, Ty, killing plays repeatedly for Connor.
Or, well, Podkolzin went through this too, right? Or you just stick with it. You can't, like, Connor and Leon are, like, once again, like, they're difficult to play with because they think and play the game at a different level than everyone else. So you either have to let him learn his lessons and figure out who he needs to be and be confident also, because it's intimidating when Leon's just like, you want to just give it back to him, and like that's what Podkolzin fought for so long, just going out of his way to try to pass to Leon when, dude, man, you're skilled, go make the play and go find Leon for a goal.
Cup year dropped in $20 on a super chat. All goes to the Ben Stelter Foundation, by the way. Can you talk about how good Matthias Janmark is playing? He paid $20 for us to talk about how good Matthias Janmark is playing. And listen, he's been fine. That shift he had on the penalty kill last game, it was like the beer league strategy of how you kill a penalty. Just give it to a good player and like let him skate around and play keep away. And that's all Janmark was doing. He was playing keep away, and the crowd loved it. Again, a positive moment from that game. He's been fine. Again, like he hasn't done anything offensively yet. That's not his bread and butter. He's there to kill penalties and bring you energy at 5-on-5. Yeah. And I think he's done both those things.
As long as he does that night in, night out, some offense will squeak through. Or offense for his line will squeak through because of a hard play he made or an aggressive, a tenacious play. So the fact that he's bringing the energy night in, night out, that's all you're paying him for, right? You're paying him fourth line money. So go and just be that energy guy that knocks pucks loose that hopefully translates into a Henry to Mangiapane connection.
The one thing I've loved about Janmark's game this year, he's getting in every scrum
he's feisty.
Possible.
He's spicy. Well,
he is being that bottom six, knows what the Oilers were missing when he was out of the lineup, which was some oomph, some of that pushback, and he's for a little guy, and we've seen him scrap before. He can do it, but I have really noticed that.
I think he knows what is missing, but I think he knows what he needs to do to stay in the lineup. Yeah. Like he's seeing, like he's finding a spot,
a pro.
right? So just, but that's effective. That that does pay dividends. It does. We need the juice.
We do. And I think Janmark is, to his credit, playing like a guy who, while he was out, maybe heard some of the noise, right? Like there was trade conversation. There was like, how does this guy fit in? Do you need him? He came back and played similar to Clattenburg. Like, hey, if I come in and I do effort things right, I'm going to have a spot in this lineup. And that kind of brings me to my next point. And I see Mulick talked about it in the chat a little bit here. When they needed some juice, they needed jam, they needed energy in the bottom six. What did they do? I'm asking a lot of rhtorical questions today.
Well, it's a series of it, yes.
Yeah. But what did they do?
I don't know. What did they do?
They called up Connor Clattenburg. So what do they need right now?
The boy off the farm.
Called him up. He came in, played like, oh my God, I never want to not be an NHLer again, right?
I love people who get that opportunity, and he wasn't in line for that opportunity. If you're following the true like depth chart or whatever and kind of where players are at in the system, but he was given his shot, and the guy's like, I am going to work my bag off to make it impossible for them to send me down, and I love this. I love it.
Yeah, and now he's been on the NHL roster for 13 days. Should we do the math on how much he's made? He's made $58,500. Shout out Connor Clattenburg. That's good smoke for a 20-year-old.
That's good smoke.
And that's USD as well.
That is USD.
Yeah, that's solid. But anyways, when they needed jam and spark, they looked to Bakersfield and said, who's giving them jam and spark right now? They called him up. Right now, they need scoring and offensive production from their bottom six. So when you needed spark and jam, you called someone up and they did the job. You need goal scoring and production. What Quinn Hudson's doing right now down in Bakersfield is unbelievable. The kid has 10 goals and 18 points in his last 9 games for the Condors. He's plus 11 in those 9 games. I like Curtis Lazar. I don't have a big problem with what Curtis Lazar brings. I think he is a good 13th forward to have on your team. You need him to come in and skate hard and win. He can do that. But I don't want Curtis Lazar playing every single night for my NHL team because you're not going to get offense out of him. I wouldn't mind Quinn Hudson looking down in that third or fourth line.
He's probably worth a look, man.
Yeah.
He's probably worth a look. Now, he's scoring at that pace.
Getting 20-plus minutes a night in power play time. Yes.
Exactly, right? So the expectation, obviously, we can't connect the two. And him being in a checking role, is he able to produce? Does he have that? Does he have that in his game yet? Like, the whole point is to send him down, to let him fly and to sharpen his tools, but also learn the two-way game.
Yeah.
So it's early enough in the season. It might be worth a shot because you're right. We need that jolt.
So you talk about like being in a checking role. Like if you want to flash up the lines again, AB, just so I have the visual on it. You take Lazar out of the lineup.
Yep.
You call up Quinn Hudson.
Yeah.
You play Frederick as your 4C with Clattenburg and Janmark. There is your grind them down energy fourth line. Granted, they're probably not going to play a lot.
They should.
But then you just
they're doing their job. They should.
Yeah. But then you take Quinn Hudson. He's a right winger. I mean, it involves flipping Mangiapane. Maybe it's not the most natural of fits, but like you run Hudson with Henrique and Mangiapane, and maybe you have a third line that can score a little bit for you.
I mean, it's worth a try for sure. It's just we have so many. It's actually funny. Like now we actually have like a lot of young guys on our team.
Who do you count as young? Clattenburg and Savoy.
Yeah. But Colson's still like
relatively young.
He's
experie's enough though.
But
that
he's got experience.
Yeah.
It's just. But we need some of these guys to pay off for us.
Yeah.
And you could still even argue on the stat line, Savoy isn't paying off yet.
Yeah.
On the stat line,
no.
You see his game. He's got game. So he still needs to work on his confidence and confidence to finish at this level.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a worthy experiment because we need to probably figure some stuff out before the trade deadline.
I would send Tomasik down and bring up Hudson in a heartbeat.
Yeah, well, because we've barely been using him when you're playing him, let alone are we playing him enough? So yeah, it's a worthy experience to see what we got because then it'll kind of solidify what we need to address come trade line, but it's the same thing every season. It's the same thing every season.
And every October, we convince ourselves that this is the deepest and best the Oilers have ever been in the McDavid era.
But like, you know,
And
on
every
paper,
year
you're
we're
like,
wrong.
you know, you think about Flames Mangiapane. I'm like, this guy could score.
Yeah. And
And you think about
Arvidsson
15
scored 30 goals.
Yeah,
Just
and you
get
think
out.
about 15 goal Frederick, and then you think about first line Henrique, and you're like, these are all legitimate reasons to be excited. But then they get put in bottom six, and granted, Frederick would have already been a bottom six guy, but you put him on the Oilers, and it's just not there.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the idea of cultivating our own in the system as opposed to bringing them from the outside to try to see if they can perform. Because we're having a tough time bringing guys from the outside.
Let's get to a couple of super chats. Lance dropped in $2 and said Janmark took the jeans off. Kate Tanner said hashtag free Tommy, $25. I'm assuming that's David Tomasek.
Free him where? Free him to Sweden?
Free him to another team in the NHL? Sure. Someone was talking about that on Twitter. They were like, you know, apparently he had like other suitors in the offseason. Maybe you can get a draft pick for him. If they get a draft pick for David Tomasek, I would be stunned. That guy clears waivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how about this?
He's going to recoup trade value for Team Czechia.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to happen.
I said Cup Year earlier. I don't know who this person usually donates as. I actually think this is Cup Year. I don't know who the other one was. I'm wildly confused now because YouTube stopped showing people's display names and started showing their ats. But anyways, we got a $140 super chat in. And it's just said, not sure why my handle has changed. More importantly, let's go. This team is showing up. And I talked about this a little bit when I was on Merrick's show yesterday as well. I think if the Oilers were to rattle off a whole bunch of wins in a row here, there might be people who go, Edmonton just flipped the switch, turned on the Jets, and away they went. And this is a Jason Demers line. You don't flip the switch. It's a dimmer. You slowly bring it up, and then you shine bright. And I think if you were to look back through the last handful of Oilers games, the loss to Minnesota in a vacuum, without the context of how much they've struggled, good game.
Yeah, bad beat. Yeah, bad beat.
Moral win.
Yeah.
Sadly,
yeah.
You beat Seattle 4-0. Great game. Very close to a full 60 complete style of hockey game. Yep. You got goaltending. You got special teams. It's Ravina who dropped in the $140 super chat. So thank you to Ravina Brar. The Dallas game sucked.
Belt to ass.
Yes. The Florida win. Great game.
Character win. Sends a signal. Season's back on the rails.
So in 3 of the last 4, we liked their effort, even though they're 2-2 in that stretch. Yeah. The loss to Tampa Bay. Liked it.
How couldn't you?
Good game against a good team in a shitty spot where you were...
For 58 minutes, great game.
Yeah. The Washington game was actually also really good. They just didn't get saves. That one is purely on goaltending. I actually thought they played okay. They just needed a save or two.
They needed a save, but there was some other
They scored
things.
4 on Logan Thompson. They should have won that hockey game.
Exactly. There were some other gaffes too.
So anyways, we can go back now 6 games. And I give them a passing grade in 5 of the 6. It's just like the goaltending and offense didn't line up in Washington. Tampa Bay, the goaltending and offense, once again, didn't really line up perfectly. And then last night against Mini, or 2 nights ago against Mini, you got shut out by we
got goalied.
You got goalied.
We got goalied.
And like shit, sometimes you get goalied.
There's a perfect example of a goalie stealing a game. And, hopefully Stu can steal us a couple this year. But now it's, what do we do now? Right? Mm-hmm. What do we do now? The dimmer switch is apparently going up. We're playing Seattle tonight.
Got to be belt to ass.
It's got to be belt to ass. And to me, because we have picks in net, to me, belt to ass still counts at a 5-4 win. That's still belt to ass. Because we delivered the belt with 5 goals.
And Picks did his best.
Picks did enough.
All I want from Picks is a dub.
That's normally what Picks is he does enough.
I see our first guest.
Boys, you'll never believe who's here.
I know. Let's get out. Star Mechanical Guest Line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company, whether it's residential, commercial, or 24/7 emergency services. They do it all and they do it well at Star Mechanical. I'm calling out a listener right now, Maynard, who first off is misquoting me about what I said on the sheet yesterday. So now I have no guilt in calling you out. He commented 10 minutes ago. He said, anyone holding their breath waiting for JD shouldn't be doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, the season debut for Jason Demers on Oilersnation Everyday. He's back. Oh, God, what's he doing?
Hey!
What's
Quite the
up,
effect.
you sick sons of bitches, you?
What's up? I mean, same situation we've been in the last 2 years. It's December and the Oilers aren't doing good, but, whatever.
Yeah, but so is the rest of the West. The wild card race is a pillow fight right now.
I'm going to get your take on that in a second as well. Just on the surface, obviously you've been keeping an eye on things from a national perspective on the Oilers. Has anything, like we joke that like it's the same old Oilers, right? Every October, November, they stink. Has anything actually surprised you about like what's happened in the first few months of their season?
Well, we kind of had this conversation like 2 weeks ago, and we're like, this is awful, and the sky's falling. We're like, wait a minute, look back the last 3 years with the Edmonton Oilers. It's the same thing, and this isn't even the worst they've been. This is like par for the course. And sure enough, I said, you know what? I think it's time to come back on the show, see my boy Ty, because right now, looking at their schedule, the next like 5-6 games is against mainly teams that are outside the playoffs. They're going to go on a run. It's coming. We can feel it. Everybody's going to think they're cup contenders again. They're not going to go and make any moves. They're just going to go with the same goddamn team. We're going to go through the same thing over and over again because they're going to go into Seattle tonight and they're winning. That's 100%. They're winning that game. And what's crazy is everything's gone wrong for them. They haven't played their game. They've had some injuries. Goaltending's been porous. And they're 2 points out of a playoff spot, 3 points out of a playoff spot. So it's like, it's one of those things. It's hopefully the management and Stan Bowman and them, when they go on this inevitable run they're going to go on, still goes and addresses the issues that they have, which are a lot. And I think if they truly want to win a cup, they got to address the issues that everybody can see. If you have two eyes and you play a beer league,
I meet those qualifications. That's why
We
I'm
all
allowed.
do.
Yeah, so do I.
That's why we have a show. Yeah.
So do I.
That actually ties in really nicely to the next thing I wanted to talk to you about. There was a report a couple of weeks ago that was like, hey, management was pushing to bring up Ingram and send down Pickard a couple weeks ago. And the players and the core leadership in the room kind of put their hand up and were like, no, like it's not on picks. We need to play better as a team. His numbers are, just to be blunt with it, his numbers are not good. How do you balance this idea of like they love Pickard and he saved their season in back-to-back playoffs and like he's great in the room? How do you balance that with there's a guy in Bakersfield who might actually give you a better chance to win games? Like when does chemistry and performance, when does that offset happen?
That's such an interesting question because I've been thinking about that recently with the Predators and Steven Stamkos and also, everything with Julien Brisebois and the Tampa Bay Lightning of like, when does emotion outweigh the bigger picture of trying to make your team better? And I love Picks. I think he's amazing. Do I think he's the one that should suffer for the goaltending woes? No, but that's a bigger, broader question. He's just an amazing teammate and he's a great backup on any team. So, but they're obviously tied to Skinner. And Stu's kind of the guy they've put their chips behind. Whatever people want to say about him or however his record looks, they seem kind of hell-bent on sticking with him. But, it does become very tough for management, especially because players are thinking emotionally. We all are. We love our teammates. The guys that are in the room, you don't want them to leave. They took a sense of ownership, which I like. And their game in the last 5 games has gotten better. They're playing good. They might not have the results people want, but they're playing better. But at what point do you have to make the emotional decision and put emotion aside and make the business decision of trying to make this team finally, and take a swing, they've taken some swings, but truly taken a swing. Like you see Tampa Bay, they get rid of Stamkos. Everybody's like, I can't believe they did that. You have Las Vegas gets rid of Marchessault and that people are wondering why you don't pay these guys and these GMs weigh the risk and they also weigh the emotion of keeping a player and when's the time to kind of move on and when's the time to give somebody else an opportunity. So it's fun to see that the guys back Picks. I love that because there's nobody more deserving of getting that support from his teammates than Calvin Pickard, who I completely agree with you. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have made it to the Stanley Cup Finals the last 2 years. He bailed them out kind of both years and it's hard to get rid of somebody that's done that. But, if they're not willing to part ways with Skinner, it's kind of tough. So maybe the players sent a message to ownership of who they're picking. But, Connor Ingram, folks, if he's on his, I just got a phone call there. Sorry about that. It's Gary Bettman telling me to stop. No, I think if, it's if Ingram's the guy and they brought him in for a reason, I mean, I think he deserves a look. No, but that's above my pay grade, and hopefully, they make the decision on who's the person to actually get behind as their goaltender or backup. So,
yeah, well, it goes back to like this year feels different, even though it's the exact same thing the last 3 years. And you can say, yeah, last year we're in worse shape than we are this year. But this year it just feels much, much different, and the stakes are much, much higher. We've rode poor goaltending through both cup runs and got to the cup final both times. And I will never forget what Calvin Pickard has done for this team in the playoffs, and it kept our playoff runs both alive in both those years. To me, it's on the other. It's the other half of the tandem. Seeing where our goaltending has been, those playoff stats the last few years. We're rolling into this season. We thought we made some moves to address our holes with our bottom six. We have media pundits saying that our D-core is all solidified, and it's none of it is true. None of it is true, and then we didn't fix any of the core issues.
I agree with a lot of those. I think it's tough. You make it to two finals, and it's like, do you over tweak? Do you blow it up? But you saw Colorado do it. They fixed their whole goaltending mid-season. Like mid-season, they just blew the whole thing up. They said, "This ain't working. We're blowing it up." So for me, look where they're at right now. So you have to make the decision. Do you want to take that risk? And there's a risk involved in that. It doesn't work 100%. A lot of teams do that. I was part of the Sharks for years where we kept tweaking, and we actually had the right formula for those first couple of years, and we over tweaked, and then it just you're playing catch up. So it's really it's tough because, to put it bluntly, like the GM's putting his nuts on the line. Like you're putting your nuts on the line to make those moves instead of being like, well, this will get us there. And then our pedigree will probably get us a couple rounds, maybe get us to the finals again. And then, hey, we were close. So why kind of rock the boat? But I think the elite GMs in the elite management teams, which I think there's only really 5 in the NHL that are truly elite, they weigh those risks and they pull the trigger when they need.
I want to ask you, like, if they win tonight, it's so funny to think about this. If they win tonight, they are tied for the top wildcard spot in the Western Conference. That's
crazy.
including games in hand, all of that stuff. So the teams that are currently between them and that spot are Winnipeg, Chicago, Seattle, San Jose, and Utah. And listen, San Jose has been a great story with the kids. So is Chicago. But let's go hater mode for a second. Of that group, Winnipeg, Chicago, Seattle, San Jose, Utah, who are you not buying on the most? Who are you looking at and you're like, man, this is just a good 25 games. Talk to me in 2 months. They'll be back down with Calgary and Nashville.
Who are the picks? Which 3 teams?
There's Winnipeg, Chicago, Seattle, San Jose, and Utah. Those are the 5 right now that Edmonton's mushed up with.
Yeah, I mean, I think Seattle for me, just because, San Jose, I knew that, we kind of were so surprised with this, and maybe this is different, and maybe Macklin's that good. I think Seattle just is a little bit, they've been just way over their skis, and I think this is kind of one of those games. I mean, their last 10 hasn't been great, and you're starting to kind of revert back to the mean. I think Chicago is actually taking a step forward in the way they're playing night in and night out. I don't think it's like a fluke that they're where they are. They're playing some good hockey, and Connor Bedard's he's on easy mode right now in the NHL, which I think none of us really expected him to take that step. So for those reasons, those 2 teams, I'm kind of like, I think they're headed somewhere. Seattle's always, to me, like, Lane Lambert's done a good job with the system, but it's only going to take them so far. And, the Edmontons, I think will eventually pass them by. The one that worries me the most is Winnipeg. I mean, if this Hellebuck injuries showed anything, it's that how much a goalie can hide your deficiencies, because they have looked awful since he's been injured. Like, awful. Like, I watched that game against Montreal last night. Like, and Comrie played as good as he can play, and bless his heart, he's a great kid and a great, he's a good player. But like, this team is missing a lot. They're 4 players and a goalie. That's it. That's all they have. I think then it's worrisome to see that for Winnipeg. So, and it also goes to show you like what a goalie can do for a team. Look at, so why, if you're Edmonton, you're not moving hell or high water to get that. So, and I said it earlier in the season. I wasn't on this show because you guys cut me and fired me, but because I had too many hot takes. But Edmonton's going to make the playoffs. I've stuck with this no matter how bad it's looked, and I'm not worried. But it's more, is it just going to be the same thing? And can they get to the finals with what they have? I don't know. I don't think so. So I think if you're not going to make it to the finals, shouldn't you be looking to improve somewhere?
Yeah. When you're
That's the
done
goal.
with us here, can you call Gary back and can you ask him what's going on with the Olympic situation? Because I'm getting a little bit nervous. You might have to go back to the Olympics, JD.
I mean, a shorter rink's perfect for me. They can't hide. I'm already starting to train again. When I saw the news on that, I was like, all right, time to get back in the lab, folks. One more run at it in Milan. I mean, do I think them not having a plan? It's just, the whole thing's comical because, they come out, this Andreas Franchisi or whatever, this chief operator, who's like, there is no plan B. This is it. It's like, well, what? It's the Olympics, brother. What are you doing? Put down the espresso and the biscotti and get cooking right now. Like, let's figure this thing out. But listen, if they can get a rink that's working, I'd be shocked if they really don't have a plan B, because there's a bunch of rinks in Europe around there that they could play at and do like a neutral
Turin
site.
is near fucking Milan.
Yeah, you're next. There's so many rinks, and there's a professional league. I mean, they could figure out something, but the interesting thing that I think from this is now that it's 2 feet shorter on each side in length. I mean, does that change who you're bringing in terms of who they're picking in the selection committee for the players? Like, who do you take on Canada? Like, there's now a Tom Wilson, an absolute lock on that team, because you want Tom Wilson on a shorter rink where he can be a little bit more physical, and do the Mark Stones now get or have even more of a look because he's not the fastest, but a shorter rink's going to benefit him? And do you maybe stay away from the shorter guys? In US, do you go Tage Thompson over Cole Caulfield? So it's like it's one of those things. I think it makes it interesting to see if that adjusts the way and which players they bring on the teams.
What the hell are we even talking about? This is just
So funny, though. It's hilarious.
Well, like, I just don't. You've known the Olympics are coming for like 10 years.
Like,
how are we 2 months away and the rink's not done yet?
And this was a concern 2 years ago that the rink might not be ready.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very
no
nervous
plan
that
B.
this isn't going to happen.
No plan B is the most comedic answer to any of that. Hey, guys, we're just going to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Just play it by ear. Why not? Last one I got for you, and I'm just looking at the Hart Trophy odds and the way this season has gone. Has Nathan McKinnon fully closed the gap on Connor McDavid in your eyes? Are we in for basically McDavid's entire career, it was like Connor number 1, and then we have a debate for who's number 2. Are we now in like a 1A, 1B thing with how good Nate and the Avs are looking?
Yeah, I think, listen, Connor, it's so tough when you start comparing. I still feel like it's apples and oranges with both of them. They're different styles, but he's the clear-cut Hart Trophy right now. And the only other person I'd give it to, which oddly enough is, there's a couple guys that have had a debate, is Macklin Celebrini if they make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, Macklin Celebrini's kind of would have to have a Taylor Hall-esque style season, so it'd be probably him, but there's nobody other than Nate right now. And, you could argue Makar, but Nate has just been, this team it just goes to show you. Again, I go back to a GM making moves when, they had a team that was good last year. The goaltending wasn't great. They said, F it. we're just going to retool the whole thing and figure it out from there and kind of do it on the fly and just change the tires while you're on the highway. But I think that's just something that you should be looking at every franchise, and why not do it? You have two of the best players in the world in Connor and Leon, and you should always be, if it's not working, fix it, because you got two guys that are there and you only have Connor for a couple years. But to get back to the Hart Trophy conversation, I mean, it's clear cut. McKinnon, I do think both of them are different players, but Nate is just he's just ripping faces off right now, and I just think he really wants the cup this year. You could see it, and he wants also all the awards. So he has that mentality. I don't know if Connor's, I think, probably has a lot on his mind and a lot going on right now with the contract that he signed and the talks, and now what's going on with the team. Like, it's a little bit easier for Nate when everything's clicking so well. Like, it optically, as a leader, it's probably he's got a lot around him that is also benefits him. I think Connor a lot of the time has lost a couple of those pieces on the leadership side, and now is probably has to shoulder even more of the load with Leon. So and Nuge and those guys and Hyman. But yeah, I just think I think it would be a disservice to say they're not 1A and 1B to Nate McKinnon, just beyond what he's done and the way he's pushed for this. So
yeah, and Gabe's back.
Well, that helps.
Gabe,
the Capitan
leadership, right?
And just that takes it off of McKinnon's plate to let him just be McKinnon.
Yeah, we talked to Sam Malinsky on our podcast, Unscripted with Verk and Demers. Check it out, guys, where you get your podcast. Yeah. But we talked to Sam Malinsky, and he said, like, having Gabe in the room is like a crazy difference. And he's like, I know that's like me saying that, but he's like, it's a crazy difference. Like, he speaks and everybody, even Nate, listens. And he's on the bench and everything's a little bit calmer and everything's a little bit more running smoothly. So, you could argue that Corey Perry kind of did that a little bit for Edmonton last year.
Yeah, totally. Can I get Adnan on the show? Do you think he'd pop on, talk some Blue Jays with me?
Oh, 100%.
All right, I'm going to bug you for that.
He loves to talk. He loves to talk his baseball or his movies. So if you guys are movie buffs, that guy can talk everything movies. So
I've seen a couple movies, yeah.
I'll connect you to. He'll love it.
Okay, I love it. Appreciate you popping on and giving us some time. We'll do this again soon.
Hey, I love seeing you guys. Keep doing the good work. You guys are awesome.
All right, there you go. There goes JD. He didn't even comment on the fact we fired Liam, but oh well. I'll tell him that off air.
Management made the tough decision.
Yeah, Jay's like, I want that seat, actually. Get him out of here.
It is comfy.
Anyways, shout out to JD for popping on. It was good to catch up. Good to catch up with him. We are running a little behind here on the show, actually. Our 25 minutes with Demers flew by, so we got two things we got to do. Sports Closet giveaway time, mystery player.
Let's go.
Jay loves this segment. If you haven't played it, we got $25 to Sports Closet to give away. We give you 3 clues to the mystery player. If you guess it right, if you're one of the first 3 people to guess it right, you go to the prize wheel. We spin the wheel. One person gets the GC. And as always, the answer is someone who played for both Edmonton and Seattle. Not a lot of names to pick from, so let's start throwing up those clues. I'm the only player to play for both the Kraken and Oilers with under 100 games played for both teams. Hint number 2. At one point in my career, I was involved in a Derek Brassard trade. Had nothing to do with the Oilers, but this player was at some point involved in a Derek Brassard deal. And number 3, the Oilers signed me as a free agent. Again, there's only 6, so we're probably going to get the answers pretty fast. No, we didn't actually fire Liam. We're just kidding. One person's already got it right. Are you seeing these, AB?
Yeah, Zach Edstrom.
Yeah. It's not Kyler Yamamoto. He played more than 100 games for the Oilers, people.
Well, we didn't sign him as a free agent.
And he was also never in a Derek Brassard deal. 0 for 3. Dank Daddy and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Those are our 3. Mulick just missed it. Half a second. Everyone guessing Schultz. He played more than 100 games for the Oilers. Come on. And when would he have ever been in a Derek Brassard trade? The
Derek
correct answer.
moved around a lot.
Yeah. There were only 6 players who could have been answers to this. Larson, Eberle, Schultz, Yamamoto, Devin Shore, and the correct answer, Riley Sheahan.
Oh, wow. Like in their inaugural year or something, right?
Yeah, he was like the first year
that's
there.
deep. Yeah.
I think he was their pick.
The Teletubby.
I think they were his pick from Detroit or something. I think he was an actual expansion draft pick. But anyways, here are 3 names: Zach Edstrom, Dank Daddy, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Spin that wheel. Oh, no way.
Dank Daddy.
Dank Daddy. I get to find out who you actually are. You get to email me, Tyler@Oilersnation.com. Say, I am Dank Daddy.
Dank Daddy at 69 at Gmail.
Probably. Send me your info or just email me and I'll forward your email off to our friends at the Sports Closet and they will hook you up. Tyler Mulick's trying to say he was in first. He absolutely wasn't. Nugent Hopkins, Dank Daddy, Mulick's right after. I'm looking at it on my screen. Tough break. Also, Mulick, I think you've won a bunch of times before, so I'm sure you'll get one before the end of the season. It's a big game, a big month of home games. So we're going to be giving away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more by the end of the month. So make sure you're tuned in.
Well, tis the sizz. Synergy.
Yes. NationGear.ca, by the way, I think, there's no tickets for our Tis the Sizz Christmas market. Oh, there is?
I believe there is.
Okay. NationGear.ca. It's Sunday, December 14th. So you still got time. 10 days away from 2 to 5 p.m. at Dog Patch. Lisa Evans helping us put this bad boy on. Should be a fun day. A little Christmas market. All in support of the Kaleo Collective. So shout out to Lisa and Ryder from the Sauce. I think Ryder will be on the show again tomorrow for us because, once again, Liam's not going to be here.
Oh, geez. 2 Christmases?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Today is tomorrow's
Child
Boxing Day for
divorce.
him? He's going to go shopping? No deals.
He's
Terrible timing.
bringing everything
Tis
back
the
in.
Sizz actually comes the day after we have this going down.
It's a festive weekend.
There we go. Our Nation Citizens festive face-off. If you came to our holiday party last year, you know how much fun it was. This year, we are doing it at Greta. Saturday, December 13th. Doors at 4. Puck drop at 5. So it's an early evening start on HNIC. So come watch it with us. We'll have some drinks. We'll have some holiday games. We'll have prizes up for grabs. Aaron has been voluntold he will dress up as Santa.
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of this.
But you're doing
I'm
it.
down. You don't buy
Yeah.
a Santa costume to not wear it. So
Exactly.
I'm down for this. Also, that's the Leafs game. So that's
Oh,
going to be
damn. That'll be
good watching.
That'll be a really good one, yeah.
It's going to be the turning point for one of our seasons.
Well, yeah. I mean, things have not been going well in Toronto. Maybe we'll touch about.
We got to go belt ass in Toronto for Pete's sake.
We got to go belt to ass on everybody.
Yeah, this is belt month.
Belt miss.
Belt miss.
Oh, we should do that every night. Yeah, we should. There's something we can do with this. I don't know what, but there's something we can do. Let's do our. Hey, did Liam send you a bet?
Liam sent me a bet, but I don't have Jay's bet.
Oh, because I didn't send it to you.
But we'll.
I'll get it. I'll get it to you in 2 seconds here.
Yeah,
and then
he'll
we'll,
read it.
Yeah, there you go. I have an updated graphic though.
All right, we do have an updated graphic. Our betting
no one
challenge
did
is
good.
brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I did not win last game.
No one did.
No one did. This is
I
just,
should have said the game was going to be under 2.5.
yeah. Not good. Not good. Yeah, you could have taken the under and it would have cleared easily. Aaron, I am sending you Jay's bet right now. Jay's bet. We can get to my pick though. I'm keeping it. I'm going all Connor McDavid tonight. Again, I'm really hoping it's a belt to ass kind of win for the Edmonton Oilers. 2 points for Connor. Take him on the puck line. 3+ shots on goal as well. If they win by 2, Connor's getting involved. Connor hasn't hit his shot prop, by the way, in 3 games.
He's
One.
due.
He is due for a game where he rips the puck. And I talked about this again yesterday with Jason Gregor. I did a lot of appearances yesterday. But we talked about how Connor McDavid after the game kind of acknowledged that, like, it's frustrating right now offensively. Gregor himself said that room was frustrated after the loss to Minnesota. And McDavid recognized, he doesn't do this a lot, that maybe he's overpassing the puck a little bit. I think that frustration is going to be funneled into Connor McDavid coming out tonight and being like, okay, enough of this bullshit. No more cutesy, backdoor, whatever. I'm going to come out and do this tonight if I have to.
60-goal Connor's coming out.
Yeah. Liam's bet for tonight. I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited.
He's feeling confident.
Just puck line. Okay. That means if I win, Liam will also win, so that's a little bit concerning for me. But I got the juice, so I don't mind it at all. Again, if they cover the puck line, Connor's getting involved. So Liam's going just puck line, real basic move by him. And then Jay's, I can start to read it here. I
got a few legs.
I threw Aaron an absolute grenade.
It's belt miss tonight, so I'm
handled that grenade.
But then you didn't take the money line.
Because it was minus 200.
Then you didn't take the puck line? Calvin Pickard.
Exactly.
Well, you didn't know that, though, when you did this.
I did send this, midnight last night?
Yeah, it was. I woke up this morning and you had sent me the bet. So over 6.5 goals, which with Pickard in net looks pretty good. Connor,
and it's belt miss.
It's belt miss. Connor McDavid, 2+ points. Leon Draisaitl, 2+ points. Zach Hyman, 3 shots. Evan Bouchard, 3 shots. Whew. Would this put him into the positives for the year? It would have to, right? Yeah, he'd be like +4.
This is plausible.
I
like this one, I say a lot of things are real, but this one's real.
They're gonna win. Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I don't see a world.
If it's belt miss tonight,
yeah,
that is all happening. Hyman is hungry. He's on the top line with his old dogs.
The band's back together.
Connor is hungry to try to get back in the heart. He was pissed after last game. The whole team is pissed after last game.
Yeah.
So all of them have got their belts out. If Connor's got 2, Leon's getting 2, Hungry Hyman's getting his shots. He's probably scoring, but I was too scared to add it. And then Boosh.
All right.
Always lets me down when I bet him, and I know that's karma, but tonight is different.
Are you going tonight?
No.
All right. Well, you won't be in the building. You'll see what could be a score fest. But I had the over yesterday in Anaheim, Utah, and Utah, it was 6.5. Utah won 7-0. That's belt to ass. They covered it themselves.
So just so you know, last night the line was set at 5.5 for the game
for Edmonton.
So I went over 6.5. I juiced it up.
Yeah, did you ever?
Because I felt it was belt miss. Now I bet you the line if it is 6.5. Now that they know it's Pickard in net.
You're going to be around for real life later?
I will.
Mm-hmm. I have one of the questions I'm asking you guys on real life, I'm making it our Spotify question today.
Okay.
So I can give you some heads up on it. It's obviously Spotify Wrapped season. Everyone's got their recaps for all their various things. But what's something in your life that you wish you had a yearly recap for that you don't? That's what I want to hear for our Spotify question today. So if you're one of the Spotify viewers or if you're in the YouTube chat, give me your answer. But the Spotify people, they have time to mull it over while they're like driving home listening to the show. So I like giving them a good question like this to really sink their teeth into.
What is something I want?
It's a very good question.
Like, what's
the question should be is what do you don't want wrapped?
Ooh, betting stats. I know we kind of do that.
Season.
Yeah.
Season.
How many times you whiffed on live betting the comeback?
Well, I'd like to see your wrapped because of your bets because of all of the other areas you bet in. You just said you bet the over in the Utah Anaheim game. Like, who gives a shit?
Oh, I do it for Bet360 or for Daily Faceoff. So if I'm putting my picks out on the show there, I got to bet them a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I'm a volume. It's a volume game for me. Just throw some darts everywhere. But what's something in your life that you wish you could have a recap for? Lance says, ooh, an alcohol recap for the year. I don't think I'd want that. Oh, no. But I'd be fascinated if you gave me an envelope and I could just like look at it and then shred it.
I wish every year you got like a screen time notification of something to that effect of like your alcohol consumption for the year compared to years prior.
Yeah. Oh,
see how you're trending?
What do you think your peak year was?
Oof.
It's got to be like you did like a lot of travel and stuff. So it's got to be some year where you traveled a ton, right?
Yeah, we're gone for like 2 or 3 months. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, probably that because it's like doesn't matter what day it is.
Mm-hmm. Are we letting you go?
I gotta go.
All right, okay. We're gonna let Jay go because I see our other guest has popped in here. But there you go. Jay joins every game day. Let's get to whoa. You know, if you break something, I'm allowed to put screws in the table. I'm doing it. You gotta let me do it. Anyways, that's our next guest. Brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Jay, you're fucking up the focus. You can take advantage of the value menu deal and add 2 green onion cakes, 5 spring rolls, or 6 wontons to your order for just $2. Any signature or premium box, online and in-store, oodlenoodle.ca as we welcome in a new coworker of ours, a new teammate, Cabbie Richards,
This is true.
off the roster. I'm sorry you had to sit through whatever that was. That was horrible video.
No,
showing.
I you know what? I missed most of it, so I didn't see it.
Good.
My eyes are still virgin eyes.
Okay,
It's
good.
untouched.
Good. It's just, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've
Unsullied.
met Jay by this point. It's always nonsense when he's on
I
the show.
think so. I think so.
I want to talk a little bit about off the roster, then we're going to get into a whole bunch of other things. But I guess,
Okay.
what excites you about doing this format of a show? It's a daily live show with yourself, Lindsay Dunn, and Dan.
Thank you, man. Thanks for asking. Oh, I've never done one like this before.
Yeah.
All my clips in the past were all short, 5 minutes. We were making videos. Back in the day when I started, we called them videos. We didn't call it content. It was just like these silly videos, and we were taking cues from like MTV, and I guess that's really it. Maybe BET. And so being able to express opinions and views and engage with the community in a longer form daily show is kind of fun. And I'm working with two great talents in Dan and Lindsay. And, the focus is Toronto. I live in Calgary, Alberta, but I'll be popping into Toronto once a month. But my viewing habits, my heart is still in Toronto. So it's I'm looking forward to listen, it's not all roses and Skittles and I don't know, and rainbows. Like sometimes it's going to be, the teams are struggling like many of the Canadian clubs. So we're not always going to be able to put on a happy face, but it's still going to be fun just to talk sports and the things that we've done. We would do anyway in our group chats. And now we can have a bigger platform to do so.
Considering you're in Calgary, we got to get you out to Jasper then for the pond hockey tournament this year. I don't know if anyone's talked to you about this.
I think I saw a video. Aren't there like multiple ODRs in like this big? Okay, yeah, I've seen a video of that. Jasper, never been to Jasper, but I'm open to it.
Yeah, we'll talk. I'll make sure the right people get in touch with you, Cabbie.
Okay.
I want to steer this conversation now a little bit towards the Edmonton Oilers, and obviously, people my age, we grew up on Cabbie on the street. Like it was unbelievable, and Cabbie Presents and all of that stuff.
Thanks, man.
But you've been able to have these conversations with Connor McDavid and build a relationship with him through various stages of his life and his career. And I went back and I watched the first one you did with him when it was a World Junior prep kind of thing that you did, and he's wearing the BioSteel. When you tell him he's from the same hometown as Jim Carrey, and he's like, I didn't know that. It's the most mind-blowing thing I've ever seen, because I'm like, how do you not know that? He's like 17 or 18. I'm like, how at no point in your life has anyone been like, hey, you're from the same town as Jim Carrey?
Yeah, I wonder why that wasn't on his radar. And because, listen, he was born, I'm assuming he was born in 97 because he wears 97. Yes. But Jim Carrey, the heart of his all-world run, specifically 94, there's the Mask, there's Ace Ventura, and there's Dumb and Dumber, and then there's Liar. So he may have, he obviously missed those in theater. He couldn't have seen them, but then maybe he missed them on home video as well. And it's Newmarket, Ontario, for those in your audience who don't know exactly where Connor McDavid is from. But I was surprised. The part that I wanted to really surprise him was I said, and I told the story recently, in an effort to connect with him, because that was the first time I was meeting him. He was still playing in Erie, Pennsylvania. Yeah. And I said, while you're playing hockey, who is the Asian kid that does your math homework? And he said, Ryan Wang. With that, he chuckled and he's like, I know exactly who it is, because I probably spoke to Ryan Wang 2 days ago. So that was, for someone who's had as much pressure on his shoulders at such a young age, I always found it trickier to connect with him, because the poor fella, it's a privilege to have that much pressure, but only Sid, Wayne, only a handful of humans ever have had that level of pressure put on their shoulders. And I always want to connect with him as a human first, and just try to share some of his personality with the audience, because when he has a lot of mics and cameras in his face, and he's the C of the club that Wayne Gretzky made famous and iconic, sometimes you just revert to just kind of standard answers because you want to get it over with, or maybe you're not being asked stuff that's really that interesting.
Yeah. That picture you just showed, Aaron, of the young babyface Connor McDavid.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
What a
that's the one.
throwback. What a throwback. But as you've gotten to know him, obviously, over, like, there was that one. Then I watched the video you guys did at Rogers Place as well, which I think was like 2020 or 2021. How's his personality kind of changed, I guess? Like, how has he gone from, or in what ways is he different from that babyface Connor McDavid to, like, the Connor McDavid we kind of know now?
How is he different? Well, he's more confident and he's more established. You guys will see the big change when he wins his first cup, because there was a big change in Sid and there was a big change in trying to think of another athlete in a different sport. Once they won their first one, there was like a relief, and like the person could just relax a little bit more. And it's coming. I mean, the guy is, he's one of one. I messaged him the other day and I said, bro, you're a Rembrandt. Like, remember that. You're a one of one. Your skill, your technical expertise, the way that you innovate the sport, like there's no one like you. So how has he changed? I think I am changing a little bit. I'm trying to push him a little bit further to do more fun things, because we see his personality in commercials, like the CIBC. There was one, do you remember the one where he's like sitting on the ice in like a beach chair and he's faster than everything, and like he's like sipping on a Mai Tai or something. He's like really funny in that commercial. And there's a few other CIBC ones that were great. In that particular one at Rogers Center, I wanted to see how he would throw a football, because like, when would you ever see, other than like golf, when would you ever see this guy doing another sport? And that was pretty fun. He beat me in the game and I was so pissed. I was like, this is the one game I know I'm going to beat this mother bleeper in. And he beat me. We're throwing at mid ice to into the goal net, and I missed both. I missed all 5 of my targets like a jerk, and he won. So he's a little bit more loose, but still, you probably interviewed him several times and like seen him out. He's just like, there's just so much pressure, and he has to be a little bit guarded because he can't be, his full self in front of everybody. That's like safe for his closest homies and his friends and family, obviously.
I want to know, and again, I was going back through the archives. I had such a good time.
Thanks so much, man.
Show. It was great.
Thanks.
Sneaky, funny hockey player that you've met, a guy who, like, the everyday fan, and this doesn't have to have an Oilers connection, obviously, but like the everyday fan would just like shrug off as like, oh yeah, I remember that guy, but they had just like an electric personality.
Sneaky funny. Great question. Well, they say Leo is the funniest on the Oilers because he does like impressions of everybody, and you guys probably know that. Sneaky funny. Brad Marchand comes to mind. He always rolls with the punches. Yeah. Steven Stamkos, one of my favorite bits I ever did with Stammers. We were getting ready. He was shooting a Coke commercial this one day, and the bit was I was the acting coach and I was preparing him for a scene. And we went through these I gave him a bunch of famous lines to like say in the mirror. Like, for example, Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover. He's like, I'm not a one-man wolf pack. I'm not, whatever the line is he's saying on the top of the Caesar's Palace. Now I'm effing up the dialogue. And then I got him to say the line from like Liam Neeson's, I have a very particular set of skills that make me a terror for people like you, something like that. That was from the movie Taken. But my favorite one is I got him to recite Tom Cruise's line from Jerry Maguire, where he's the agent, he's on the phone, and he says, he doesn't know what it's like to be a black person. I'm Mr. Black People. So getting Stammer to say like that was, so he's, that was one of my favorites. The most like, I guess Marchand is known to be funny. Paul Bissonnette's known to be funny. Yeah. But sneaky funny, I guess Stammer would hold that title.
Yeah, and he does kind of give off like the classic like shy under whatever like hockey guy, but I do remember that video too. It's funny when you say those, and I get like the PTSD to being like 15 years old and being like, oh yeah, I remember watching that on whatever. Let's go away from hockey for a second here. You mentioned like you're in Calgary, the heart's in Toronto, your sporting heart is in Toronto, but the one team that unites everybody is obviously the Jays. And like, I'm a massive Jays fan.
Same.
I'm a watch 150 games a year kind of guy. Like every night I eat dinner, I watch the Toronto Blue Jays. How much are we loving that Ross and company are just opening up the checkbook right now? Like, I mean, Cease 210, The Kyle Tucker stuff, I've been hurt too many times in the past to get like fully excited for it, but like I'm pretty excited for it.
Well, that's PTSD, bro, because we were teased with Shohei, we were teased with Juan Soto, and Kyle Tucker. He can go to the Yankees. He can go to the Red Sox. He can come to Toronto. This has been a very exciting offseason, and I have to give a lot of credit to Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins, because in our group chat, my own person, like with my buddies, we were killing the front office. We're like, oh, these moves are terrible and blah, blah, blah. And like, how are these guys still, around? And some of these, like Addison Barger, Ernie Clement, Davis Schneider, like all these guys just came out seemingly nowhere. And then obviously Treya Savage has a generational run in the postseason, 22 years old. Like, where did these guys come from? But it's their vision. It's their talent. It's their front office, the people, the staff who identify the talent, and they take some chances. Jose Barrios is a guy who we might have to trade or might have to eat his Toronto might. It's like, where is he going to fit in the starting rotation? He's a great pitcher, gave everything in that series against Minnesota and in Seattle. But like, is he the odd man out? How deep is our rotation going to be? I think we have 6 guys now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's super exciting. And I mean, the whole country was locked in from the ALDS against the Yankees. Yankees lose. And it's watching Vladdy say that. Three games and him on the air with David Ortiz was awesome. And then obviously Seattle, George Springer becomes an iconic hometown, a Toronto hero with that home run in the 7th. And then, man, that 7 games it was just theater, bro. It was, it was just absolute cinema, the whole season, the whole series.
I've brought this up before, but like my 3 teams, obviously Oilersnation Everyday. Blue Jays, been a Blue Jays fan my whole life, and I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. And there's just something.
You
about
are?
The fact, yeah, I love the Bills. The Bills I've been to like the home opener.
How, bro?
2 or 3 of the last 4 years. It's because I was a Toronto sports fan. And the natural football team to go with that. And again, when I was like growing up and getting really into sports, like my teenage years, the Bills still had like they were the lovable losers, right? There was the playoff drought. There was all that stuff. And when I became a fan, it was like the year they drafted Tyrod Taylor. And it was like, oh, they finally got a good, young, exciting quarterback. And I was like, this is the team I want to hitch my wagon to. And I've been a Bills fan ever since. But like, if you ask anyone, what's the best football game you've watched in the last decade? It's the 13-second game, Chiefs coming back to beat the Bills.
Oh, yeah,
and it's like, that's one of the worst nights of my life. What's the best Stanley Cup final of the last 10 years? Oilers come back from 3-0 down and losing Game 7. That Game 7, second worst night of my life. What's the best World Series in the last 5 years? Right? Like the best World Series in the last 5 years was this one. My life's all heartbreak, Cabbie.
It really is, bro. How are you like in the relationship department? Do you have a significant other, or are you just stringing a bunch of heartbreaks together and you're just like, I'm out here in these streets. My Tinder's up, my Hinge is on fire. I'm just like, no woman is gonna, or no person's gonna lock me. I don't know your situation. No one's gonna lock me down. I'm just a free agent riding solo from now until I'm 6 feet under.
Yeah, my wife, I'm very lucky.
Your wife. Okay.
She is in on all of it. Like, she loves the Jays. She loves the Bills. I somehow got her to love the Buffalo Bills, too. So, like, when I say I go to Bills home openers, it's my wife and I's, like, trip to end the summer is, like, we go down and watch the Bills home opener together. So I'm lucky that, like, she cares as much as I do. But then it almost, like, doubles the heartbreak for me because, like, I'm upset. And then I look and, like, she's crying on the couch. And I'm like, oh, fuck, you're crying now, too. This is not good.
You've somehow successfully transferred your fandom, actually your fan misery, to your wife, and I feel bad for her. But she's a real one. She's a ride or die, bro.
Yep, she's solid. You live in Calgary, so this is a great chance for me to throw this your way because obviously you spent a lot of time out east. How good is the Mountain time zone for watching sports? I think it is absolutely undefeated.
The Sundays at 11 when NFL, like when I just click on Red Zone and then I'm in, 7 hours of it used to be commercial-free football.
Commercial-ish football.
Commercial-ish football. And then the witching hour is like 1:45. It's beautiful. Like I'm definitely a fan of the Mountain time zone for watching sports. And then like most games start at 5. I'll be watching the Raptors tonight and the Leafs. That'll be 5:30 out here. So yes, that's great.
It is absolutely the best. Whenever I go to Toronto and it'll be like, oh, a game starts at 10 o'clock tonight. Like, I'm in bed by 10 o'clock. I'm not staying up to watch a hockey game at 10 o'clock. That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 2 more things I want to throw your way really quick. Now that we're teammates and you work with us at the Nation Network, I'm allowed to come to you for advice. It's in your contract. Look, 3rd page, whichever one. I think my biggest weakness as someone who does this job is I suck at interviewing people, which is great because you're the best interviewer that I've seen in media in my life. So I want you to coach me up like a good teammate here. Give me a couple of things that I can work on to become a better interviewer.
Okay. Well, small talk before the interview starts. One of my hacks, one of my little things was I would comment on, this is in person. I would comment on a person's sneakers, be like, yo, did you get those here? Did you get those? Blah, blah, blah. And then if someone's wearing a pair that are dope, like a pair of J's, like some 1s or some 4s that I hadn't seen that colorway, that I remember seeing, I remember interviewing Kendrick Lamar once, and he had a pair of red, like, Air Max 1s, and I just hadn't seen like the particular style. I'm like, where'd you get those? And he's like, in Tokyo. I'm like, of course you got them in friggin' Tokyo. But it's like a compliment to a dude. So sneakers. Yeah. And then I guess in the question, it's harder in your role because you have this daily show and you have to ride the highs and lows of the team. And if the team's not successful, that's 80% of the messaging to the audience, and the audience is commiserating with but salute to Stuart Skinner recently, the shutout and the last time was a 1 loss, or a couple nights ago was a 1-0 loss to Minnesota. But so I try to like always think of the human first, and like, how can I make this enjoyable for the human? Whether it's like, what are you binging on Netflix, or what movie did you see recently? Just to like connect as like a human. So I don't think those aren't like great pieces of advice. No, those hacks have worked for me in order to kind of loosen someone up. And then maybe something like a throwaway line like, hey, if we ask to see your explore page on IG, can we look through see what the algorithm is telling you about us? And you might get a chuckle because everybody's algorithm is either, well, they're very specific to that person.
Family show. No, it's not a family show.
Well, I heard you say dropping a couple F-bombs, so I know it's not a family show.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, sorry. That's my bad. Anyways, the other thing I was going to say, I was watching through some of the clips of you guys in the first couple days of your show. Why did Toad get so much hate for being a Mario Kart character to pick? He's a totally adequate. He's agile. He's crafty. He has a cool hat.
Yes. And his acceleration is the best in Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Kart. I'm not really sure. Lindsay, I think she has some PTSD from always having to be Princess Peach when she was playing with her friends on 64 back in high school or college or university or whatever. But I'm not sure where the hate from Toad. That's the first time I've ever experienced hate for Toad in Super Mario Kart. Like, Toad is beloved. Wario's beloved. Mario's beloved. Bowser, or even people like Donkey Kong. But Toad, I don't know why she's throwing shade at Toad.
Yep, that was ridiculous for me. Anyways, Cabbie, appreciate your time. We are so happy you're on board, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Sounds good, bro. I look forward to it. And good luck to your Oilers.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
Good luck, brother. Positive vibes.
High vibes. Yeah, I'll crank up the vibes here. You can find him off the roster every weekday on the Nation Network YouTube. Big shout out to Cabbie for jumping on the show. That was cool. That's I never know. I always feel weird, Aaron, when I'm telling someone who we work with now, I'm like, oh yeah, I grew up watching you, because I don't want them to be like, hey, fuck you, how about that? You trying to make me sound old?
Cabbie was such a consistent part of my childhood growing up. Cabbie on the street was unbelievable. I always go back to, you talk about an excellent interview that he had, Kobe Bryant somehow started to befriend Cabbie.
This is a great photo.
I remember watching this interview as a kid on The Score, shout out The Score Network. And just his ability to break down Kobe Bryant. Yeah. You would not think Cabbie's interview style and Kobe would ever mesh, but he found a way to break down Kobe and then become actual boys. They had photos of Kobe's entire career together. That was awesome for me to just sit here.
Yeah, that was cool. I remember the one from his Score days, and I forget what the premise of the interview was, but there was something with Dion Phaneuf, and he kept doing a jingle where it was da-da-da-da, Dion Phaneuf. That is in my head way more than anything else that I learned in school. Like that was probably from when
yeah.
I was like 12. My brain's more Cabbie than anything I like learned in junior high.
I legitimately would say like one of the guys that had a ton of influence to want to do something like this is I was like, man, like that's a job. You can do that for a living. So shout out Cabbie. He's a Canadian legend.
Absolutely. And he works with us now at the Nation Network. Yes. Do we have Spotify comments from the other day that we have to get through?
We have 6 comments here. Here, give me un momento, por favor.
All right. While you're doing that, a quick little what's trending, I suppose. You heard Cabbie and I touch on it very briefly. Kyle Tucker, who is the #1 free agent on the board in Major League Baseball, he is visiting the Toronto Blue Jays complex in Dunedin this week. I think he was there yesterday. I don't know if they have another meeting today, but a lot of insiders for the last couple of weeks have been talking about how the Blue Jays could reportedly be the front runner for Kyle Tucker. Now, I'm a little bit like my heart and my head. Kyle Tucker's the best free agent bat on the market. He is legitimately one of the best hitters in all of baseball. He would fit in perfectly in this lineup and keeps them a legitimate World Series contender. Okay, that's number 1. This means Bo wouldn't come back. Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette. Heart, head. I'm very, very torn on this whole thing. As a proud Bo Bichette jersey owner.
How many dingers did Kyle Tucker hit last year?
Last year, he hurt his hand, and it kind of like sent him down a spiral. The other thing with this, too, he finished with 22 dingers last year. But the year before that with Houston, he was, I'm looking at fielding, home runs, 22. Year before that with Houston, 23. Year before that, 29. Then back-to-back 30-bomb seasons. He's not necessarily like an all-power guy, though. Like, good eye, things of that nature. And I think the logic would be, like, if you put him right before Vladdy, he's going to get so many pitches to hit that you probably do get the most out of him. But there also is a little bit of logic to, like, you have Santander as a power bat in the outfield. You probably want to play Nathan Lucas and Davis Schneider to some extent. Springer's a DH now. You have Varsho in center. Like, you sign Kyle Tucker because he's obviously extremely talented, and you make the lineup work with Kyle Tucker. But there is the idea of, like, if you bring back Bo and you put Bo at second base, your infield slots perfectly, your outfield's good because Barger can play the corner. Like, I don't know.
I feel like you're more structured if you have Bo, but it's the shiny new toy in one Kyle Tucker. That's
I know.
It's a mystery box.
And
Be a boat.
I won't, if Kyle Tucker, if it's announced he, like, signs with, I don't think he'll go to the Dodgers, but like if Kyle Tucker goes to the Mets, I'm not going to be as heartbroken as when they've missed out on some other guys. So yeah, that's what I'll say. As long as they get one of Tucker or Bo, I am in. Mulick says, as a hockey guy, I'm a big loyalty guy, so I say keep Bo, but whatever. Ryan says, can they keep them both? They already spent $210 million on Cease, so if you got to spend like $350 million on Kyle Tucker, I highly doubt the Jays will be going that crazy and be giving like another 180 out to Bo Bichette. That's the other thing too, is like Kyle Tucker's going to be probably twice the cost of a Bo Bichette, which is crazy to think that he's going to get like a $350 million deal, but whatever. I'll move off of the Jay stuff. Do we have our Spotify comments? All right, here we go. This is after the loss to Minnesota yesterday. ZXO, love the show, guys. Top 5% fan. My goal for 2026 is to be in the top 1%. That's a great goal. Spend more time with us. Do you guys think McDavid will start shooting the puck more now that he's openly addressed that he passed too much in the game against the Wild? I think you're bang on. Obviously, you didn't hear that, or you wouldn't have known this when you commented, but I just talked about this with Jay. I think Connor McDavid's going to have a big shoot the puck night, and I think, you know what, I'm probably going pretty hard. Put McDavid goal on Boardsy's bankroll tonight.
I see. I was thinking a Hyman goal because of Connor McDavid.
Sure.
See, I'm on the opposite. I'm going, no, he's lied to me way too many times before. I've been burned.
Uncle Jim says, hey, guys, it's your #1 female fan in Madagascar here. Love it. Proud to report you were my most listened to podcast this year at just under 6,000 hours. Oh, my God. How long is that? I'm going to do some math. Give me a second.
6,000 hours? I mean, now that I think about it, I've sat here and listened to you guys for definitely more than 6,000 hours. So.
That's impossible. There's no way. That means 6,000. No, it has to be 6,000 minutes. 6,000 hours is the equivalent of 250 days. We aren't on the air that much.
It's just on the thing where it repeats the same pod over and over. Maybe you lull that Uncle Jim to sleep at night. Also, shameless plug, Oilersnation After Dark is also a podcast. Get some of that. Get some of that in your life.
Anyways, your numbers are off. Maybe it's 600. 600 hours makes a lot of sense.
And that's still a lot of hours.
600, though, is, hours. Yeah, 600 hours. No, even that doesn't make sense. Your numbers are off, Jim.
Yeah. I appreciate the sentiment, though.
The other Daryl from the Proverbs of Low Tide. Teams win games they don't deserve heading into a streak and lose the games they deserve to win when coming out of a slump. I think that's actually really fair. Like, again, I think this Oilers team is about to start a streak here and come out of this slump. So that's a good little bit of, and anytime we can get in a low tide line, that's great. Dace is in. I think you guys are reading bot comments sometimes, especially the one Liam did. Anyways, love the show. Alberta born and raised, listening from UBC. And then Liam said, I wouldn't doubt that I am. They get me good. Yeah, Liam, like, again, Ron Burgundy, he'll read whatever's on the prompter.
Mm-hmm. You've heard him do ad reads before.
Yeah. Jesse just commented and said, love you guys. So thank you very much. And then let me know your answer, everybody, to today's Spotify question, which we'll get to tomorrow on the show. Today's is, if you could get a Spotify Wrapped for something else in your life, non-music related, what would you do? So there you go. That's your question.
The alcohol thing's too negative. Like, that's the answer to the doctor when they ask you your average amount of drinks. You got to cut that in half.
I don't want to have that for.
I don't want to know. Mm-hmm. The amount, no. This will be interesting. I'm excited for these comments tomorrow now.
Like, how many people you've seen in a year? Like, how many different faces do you think you see in a year? Tens of thousands.
How many of the same
hundreds of thousands polite
conversations have I had with
but that could be the breakdown of, like, how many faces did you see? How many people did you meet and, like, learn their name? Name retention. I'm so bad at name retention. I'm brutal. It is like my resolution, not a New Year resolution, but, like, I'm actively trying to get better at remembering people's names.
That's one thing I've gotten better at since working here. You meet all these YouTube names, and you get to finally meet their faces. Locking them in, people.
Well, that like, I'm good at that because, like, I'll see someone and they'll be like, hey, I'm so-and-so on YouTube. And it's like, boom, I've been reading your name for like a year. I know exactly who you are. But people will, like, come up to me at the game and be like, hey, I'm Kevin. Like, I watched the show and I'll be like, hey, Kevin. Then I'll talk to them for 2 seconds. And in my head, I'm like, oh, fuck, I already forgot their name. Like, damn it. Anyways.
Happens.
Bathroom stats, sure. How much your weight fluctuates?
I mean, I can find out that information. I just don't want it.
Oh, no, you were only talking about pooping. Sorry. Never mind. All right.
Whoa, well, okay. I can maybe get down with that.
All right. I think that is a wrap on today's edition of the show. So, on that note, Aaron, pre- and post-game tonight.
Live. Me and Zachariah from a dog patch down in the River Valley. Come on down. Me, Brett, Zachary. Should be a good one. And I still haven't decided what I'm going to eat on the menu tonight, but I'm thinking the Garden Patch Bowl, Tyler.
Yeah, the Garden Patch Bowl. I've heard good things.
Wore my Christmas sweater. We're ready to go. Vibes are turning here.
Pre- and post-game live on the Oilers Nation YouTube tomorrow morning. We'll, of course, have the sheet live at 8 a.m. as well with Ryder and Lisa tomorrow.
Sauce, not the sheet.
The sauce. You can go back, watch the sheet. Yeah. Daily Face-Off. Tomorrow, we'll have Ryder on the show, I think, and we'll figure out what else I want to do.
Oh, and then tomorrow, programming note. So, this Family Feud thing that we're trying to do for over the Christmas break. I have created a Google survey that we're going to put out in the Sauce chat in the morning, and then I'm going to throw it in this chat when this starts at 12:01 Mountain Standard Time. I need 100 people, at least, to answer the survey, so we can say, survey says, but I need your guys' help. And then, if you answered in the survey, you should watch the Family Feud, because you'll know what the answers are going to be. But shameless plug, that's going tomorrow in the chats.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that. Have a good Thursday, everybody. Enjoy the hockey game tonight. We'll see y'all back here tomorrow, noon Mountain. Oil up. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.